Welcome back to the Overtime Show. I'm JayBee. This is Will. Today we have a really good show. Got a lot of topics to go through. A couple of them being the Antonio Brown saga. He's come back into the mix. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about the playoff picture in the NFL. It's week 17. Things are getting down to the nitty gritty, and we will go a little bit more in depth into some of the important games. One of the other topics is the Lakers and the Clippers. They played it yesterday. Weird game, weird ending, but we'll go a little bit more in depth into that later. We're also going to talk college football. We're going to go into the rankings, and the games are tomorrow, so we'd like to talk a little bit about that. And let's get right to it. So one of the first things that I heard waking up this morning was that Antonio Brown met with the New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Did he work out, or did he just meet up with them to talk?
I know he was. I don't know if can he work out.
I think he can. I don't think they can actually play him because he's still on that commissioner's exempt list. Yeah. So. He can't collect a paycheck, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think if some implications of whether or not they override the whatever issues he's having. I heard something about the money's going to have to come from, like, if he does get paid, it would come from the NFL's pocket and not the Saints.
Jeez.
So that being, I'm sure it's a minimal contract, and that being said, it would probably mean that it's kind of like a safe bet to sign him.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't play.
I just wonder he will provide a definite impact to that offense because
eventually.
Yeah. Is there even a chance for this guy to come back? Like, what kind of hoops does he have to go through to actually be part of the roster, ready for the playoffs, game one? I don't see a scenario where it's going to be easy.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to play in the playoffs. Unless there's some type of loophole I'm not seeing, but I think it's kind of like a safe move for the Saints. Because, like I said, it's going to be
nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know how happy this would make Michael Thomas.
Oh, I mean, any chance for them to get any closer to redemption? Because what happened the last 2 years with the Saints? Right. Last year was the really botched call, that defensive pass interference on the Rams.
Yeah.
Nobody called anything. Rams went through all that stuff, and then the year before.
Right.
Against the Vikings,
right.
All he needed to do was make a tackle. He didn't get the tackle, and Vikings went in with Case Keenum at quarterback. It just...
What I wonder is there something that the Saints know that, the rest of us don't know about, like him having a chance to play in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Is there something that hasn't been released to the media yet?
I don't think they would go through this or actually let it get to the news if there wasn't a shot.
That's interesting.
Why would they bring it up? You really didn't hear too much from the coaches today. It was just he showed up in New Orleans, and that was it. Yeah. That was it. Which is it was just weird to hear. Now, what kind of impact? Let's just say he does play. He's there. Game one of the playoffs against, let's say, a Green Bay or whatever. What kind of impact do you think he'll make?
I think he'll have.
Will he play in every how many? What's the percentage of plays he'll play in that game, or in the games to come? If he's like 80%, 40%.
What's the chances he'll play?
Yeah. No. He's in.
Okay.
They're playing.
Snap percentage.
Snap percent. There we go. That's a better way to say it.
Why not all of them? I mean, who else do they have? They have Ted Ginn. You don't really hear his name.
You got Michael Thomas, and you have Isn't there another guy on the other?
Ted
That's
Ginn.
It, huh? Jared Cook.
Yeah,
tight
it's
end.
a tight end. It's that's probably why they made that move. But
Yeah.
I think also it's like, even if he did play, I would feel like he wouldn't be the Antonio Brown of the past because, well, for one thing, there's obviously some mental issues that he needs to work through in the second, which I heard he's actually seeing.
He's seeing someone
he's
for that
seeing
now?
someone for that, which is probably a reason
It's
why.
good.
Secondly, it's to me, it's like the same thing that the Browns bringing in Odell Beckham, having two number one receivers. I don't necessarily think it makes those. You probably have better looks at the receivers, but only one of those guys is going to get the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
he's a workhorse. Like he always stays in shape. I remember when the Raiders picked him up and all those off-season drills that the team was doing, he was doing his own, and it just seemed like he was on another level, and he was just really locked in. Like, he's faster than everybody, a little bit more agile. He can always catch that ball. I think if he plays, he'll play a lot. I don't think he'll be in those running plays, like running downs, first, second, definitely third down guy when they spread it out a little bit. If it gets the nitty-gritty, they'll put him in.
Here's a more intriguing question. Do you think that Michael Thomas will lose a little bit of playing time with Antonio Brown?
Not playing time, but
snaps. I'm saying like
I wouldn't say snaps. I would say
relief.
like targets.
Targets, definitely.
He'll lose a couple targets, but I think Antonio Brown might even open up some room for Thomas to explode.
I definitely think it's going to go both ways.
Yeah.
But I think there's something there's something about having two number one receivers that just does not seem to work out in the NFL.
That's true.
Well,
if they know, maybe they know something that we don't, they probably won't put him in kind of at the same time, or if there's like a play where they're targeting Michael Thomas,
right,
he'll definitely just be there for a decoy. Like, you're not throwing to him unless he's wide open and nobody else is open, kind of thing, Right.
And I think that's what the expectation is.
Who knows? I don't think he's that great of a run blocker. Let's say it's a running play and you're going to put him in on one side. I don't think it's worth it,
But it's definitely gives. I mean, it
makes you think.
For a decoy.
As a defensive coordinator, you got one eye on him and one eye on the other side, because they're both great
like, who do you
wide
double
receivers.
team?
Yeah. It might leave things open up.
Who would you double team as a defensive coordinator?
Michael Thomas.
Right.
And it would probably leave things open for Jared Cook, because if they're going to keep eyeing those two guys, Jared Cook might
not even thinking
and
about
he's good. He's fast.
Yeah.
If you give him some room, man, he'll do some damage.
Even Alvin Kamara is
there we go. There's another thing.
That might be a whole another outlook on the playoffs. If he comes in, it's like...
Yeah, the favorite, like, if there's a spotlight on a favorite, it's definitely moving towards them.
Yeah.
I would say it would definitely move towards them. I don't know. I don't like the idea that he's even getting a shot because I'm a Raider fan. You guys know this, but it just doesn't make sense. He screwed over one team. He pushed the GM. Then he was so happy to leave. He goes to the Patriots, talks shit on their owner.
Yeah.
Like in tweets, like it's verified. And nobody wants to pay him now because he screwed over those teams.
And he's a liability.
Now he's going to go there. Like, what does it take for this guy to get indefinitely suspended?
I mean,
you have to throw a helmet at somebody. You know what I mean?
That's why it makes me feel like, is there something they know, because I don't see them moving forward next season with them. Like, I think it's almost like, let's sign him, get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, use it up right now. Yeah. I hear you.
It's really strange, but
only time will tell. We will definitely get back to this subject a little later on when we have a little bit more information. But for right now, it's just
it's weird.
What if, what may happen, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, we have special guests downstairs.
We got guard dogs.
Shh.
Now,
Ritz. Time out. So take a second. Talk about college.
Well, one of the other subjects we wanted to get into was the college football playoffs coming up. We have a couple games tomorrow. Tomorrow, LSU, number 1 seed, is playing against Oklahoma, the number 4 seed. Number 2, Ohio State, a big favorite in this playoff, against Clemson, the current champions, the defending champions. Now, Clemson, their biggest hurdle has always been Alabama. Alabama's not in this playoff this year. So I've been hearing, and I think that Clemson still has a big shot to make it. LSU playing against Oklahoma, I can kind of guarantee that LSU is going through to the next round, to the final round, basically. Now, Ohio State and Clemson, I don't know. I mean, I would, from what I've seen, Clemson, those SEC teams just have an edge. Yes, Big Ten teams like Ohio State and Michigan and all that, they play well when it comes down to nitty-gritty, but is it well enough to beat a really, gifted powerhouse team like Clemson? I would lean towards no. So at least for me, my predictions, we're not going to go too in-depth, but I'll give you a brief summary. LSU definitely taking out Oklahoma, and Clemson edging out Ohio State. It's going to probably go to overtime. It'll be back and forth, high scoring, because I don't think the defenses are going to really. It's not going to be one of those games, stalemate 13-14 or anything like that.
I haven't followed much of college football, but I think the one team that when I watch them and I'm really impressed with what they're doing all around is LSU.
LSU, yeah. It's first of all, they're an SEC team, which is for the past 20 years they've been the, that conference of choice for the top recruits.
Right.
And you just get it's surprising to me to see Alabama not in it, but I think this is just one of those years where they take a deep breath. Mm-hmm. They lost 2 games. It was too big of a hurdle to get into this playoff. Now, one of the things to watch this weekend, LSU's got the number 1 prospect for the NFL draft. Cincinnati's already locked up that number 1 spot in the draft this year. And they're saying this guy, Joe Burrow, is the cat's pajamas. He's the guy. He's going to be the quarterback of the future and all that. Now, my thought on it is it's a little too early to say that. I still haven't seen him in the combine. It'd be good to see that. Will he throw in the combine? Yeah. Sometimes these guys don't want to do that, but who knows? Now, a lot of people had Joe Burrow last year as possibly, if he were to go to the draft, a 5th round to not even drafted. What's the big difference this year? I would probably say the competition is a little bit weaker. Like Alabama's not that good.
It's making them look better.
And Ohio State's got a guy, the defensive end, Tariq Smith, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen some clips. I've seen some highlights. I really haven't seen any full games other than the Ohio State-Michigan game. Yes, he can be a hell raiser. He could be like a Khalil Mack, but he's more of a speed guy, kind of like a half Joey Bosa, kind of that Derek Thomas speed, just cut around the corner, Von Miller-y kind of type. Not too big, but he's really good. He can attack that ball. But the thing is, against Michigan, they had a bunch of set plays where they would roll out and shift the line coverage to his side. He was basically, you could have taken the numbers off his jersey. You would have known who this guy is. You didn't hear his name once during that game. Mm-hmm. So you can game plan against him. Big deal or not, who knows?
Right.
But either way, LSU over Oklahoma, Clemson edging out OSU. It's going to be a SEC final where I think Clemson's still going to take it. They're just the pedigree's there. They're the defending champions. I think the pedigree's there. They have a great team. So it'll be nice to see 2 games tomorrow. I believe in the afternoon, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Now on to our next subject. We are going to talk a little bit about the NBA. We got the Lakers losing a very tight game to the Clippers. They were ahead in this game by up to, I think it was 13 points at one point. And they looked like they were going to take it. And then just the Clippers slowly chipped away, played some really good D, locked down LeBron where he was only passing to AD. AD wasn't making all the shots. Their three-point percentage was horrible that game. I don't know. I just saw a team not really give up, but give as much as they got, or as much as they had, and it wasn't enough. Too early on. It wasn't enough.
I think Kevin Hart is bad luck.
If you don't know what he's talking about, there was a point where
it was the end of the second.
Yeah, of the second. Anthony Davis runs in to get the ball from going out of bounds, and he kind of runs into the crowd. Pretty sure you guys have seen that.
It was a steal. Clippers had passed it in. Anthony Davis stole it, goes for the three, falls back, lands on Kevin Hart.
Oh, okay, he landed on him. And I guess when he landed on him, the two were talking, and then LeBron James comes and wants to get into the spotlight and sits on his other side of his lap.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was weird.
It was funny, but then I started seeing.
We're talking a nitty-gritty game. You're playing against your heated rival.
Kuzma was looking hot in the beginning of that game. Man.
He was. And I don't know, my opinion is they should play him more. It's just, it's for some reason they keep...
When they force it.
Yeah, they're putting him on the bench. He gets cold, no more rhythm. He comes back in. You expect him to score. It's kind of tough.
They definitely play better when they're playing as a team. When they're really...
When the ball's moving around. Yeah. I don't like it that LeBron is the point guard. You have Rondo there. Let him come up. Yeah. Let LeBron have his set play. Him and AD cross, and there's a pick, and he gets open, and he throws it,
Rondo should be passing the ball, man. He's missing... At the beginning of that game, he was missing a lot of shots.
Yeah.
I was like, what the... Going on?
When you have the point guard, your best player on your team, like LeBron... bringing the ball in, it kind of, you're taking one guy out of the play, kind of. You want your best facilitator, which is LeBron, but a close second is Rondo.
Yeah, right.
Have those main guys, those scorers, run around and get, open. But I just don't see it. Every play, it's LeBron coming down the field. Once he gets over half court, kind of takes a couple steps and tries to find LeBron. Or he passes off to some guy, he runs around, gets the ball right back, and he's trying to get it back to AD.
I feel like LeBron coming to the Lakers, he's trying to be like the second coming of Magic Johnson or something.
Yeah.
It's like a really big point guard, but he's not Magic Johnson.
No. And it's not that kind of offense.
No,
they were doing Showtime, run and gun.
Yeah.
It's not. They're trying to do set plays, which is all right. You're trying to... They have a good offensive scheme. It's just I don't like LeBron holding the ball the whole way.
Right.
You want your score to get open.
Yeah.
Get open, I don't know.
But I think as long as LeBron's there, it's going to be LeBron's way. So, but
that's true.
The one thing I can say is I am pleased with how this season is going versus last season. But I felt like they could have won that game.
Easy, yeah. I thought so too. And it was kind of heartbreaking. You lose like that.
Yeah.
It was such a weak... LeBron had the chance... About 12 seconds left. Ball's in his hand. They were down by 3, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And he's got the ball around the three-point line. He's got Pat Beverly on the Clippers guarding him, which is one of their best defenders.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Fast hands.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get open, trying to dribble around a little bit, but Pat Bev's got him locked. So he goes and takes a step back, going to shoot the 3. Pat Beverly puts his hand out, blocks the ball. The ball ricochet off LeBron's hand going backwards and goes out of bounds. They initially said the Lakers got the ball, but there was a timeout. They did a review.
Yeah.
They see the ball coming off of LeBron's hand, and it goes to the Clippers with 3 seconds left. Yeah. They already have a 3-point lead. The game's over.
They shouldn't have been down in that at that point anyway. But
they shouldn't have. It's just a combination of things, and
I think it's Hollywood, man. Yeah. I don't think Clippers are kind of taking on that as much as people want to say. Well, like Clippers, Lakers, Kawhi, LeBron. Like, I don't think it's about that for the Clippers. I think the media is making it about that,
Yes.
but I don't think the Clippers really care about.
I don't think so either. No, they're just trying to get to the.
Yeah.
Once they get to the playoffs, you'll see a different animal.
Yeah.
They'll be they're kind of feisty now. They're gonna be enraged.
Yeah.
Especially Kawhi, they're already load managing him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's preparing.
Yeah.
Why do you load manage? So when you get to the nitty gritty, the playoffs,
he's ready to go.
You're fresh. Somewhat fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Now I'm gonna hand it off to Will. We have my favorite part of the show today, and I'm pretty sure his.
This weekend, this Sunday, the most nerve-wracking Sunday for both me and John, I think.
Week 17.
Yeah. We all knew it was going to come down to this. I know, especially with the NFC East, it's always coming down to the last week of the season. Even though it came down to week 16, it's still coming down to week 17. Dallas getting just humiliated by the Eagles, which I kind of deep down inside saw coming because it's been happening all season. It's just good game here, and then let's just fall apart. You know what I mean? Like every week it seems like that. When I saw them just destroy the Rams, I was like, okay, they're going to lose to the Eagles. I just felt it. With that being said, Dallas needs to win. They're favored over Washington they actually raised it. It was 10.5, now it's 11 points.
Jeez.
They're 11-point favorites over Washington in Dallas, and the Eagles need to lose to the Giants, and the Eagles are playing in New York, favored by 4 points.
Okay. So as far this is for playoff picture, the way we're gonna Dallas against Dallas against Washington.
Right.
In Washington or in
Dallas?
In Dallas. Okay. And Dallas needs to win.
And the Eagles need to lose.
And the Eagles need to lose against the Giants for Dallas to get in.
Yeah. But if any other scenario happens, the Eagles are in.
The Eagles are in. Yeah. So it just that needs to happen. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and I really liked seeing how
that's a nail biter.
Yeah.
And they're playing at the same time?
Exact same time, 1:25 Pacific time. So that's watching, I have a glimmer of hope with how the Giants played last week. Saquon was running like crazy. They haven't played Daniel Jones yet. When the Eagles first played the Giants, it was against Eli Manning. And that went into overtime.
Okay.
Now they're playing against Daniel Jones, who threw 5 touchdowns this last week. So that's a little bit of hope. With what I feel like the Cowboys' luck will be, the Giants could win and Dallas could lose.
Oh. So what happens there?
The Eagles still get in.
The Eagles still get in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So if Dallas, I actually really do feel like the Giants have a better shot of beating the Eagles than Dallas has of beating the Redskins. Even though there's that point spread, Washington and Dallas, for some reason, that always seems to be a tough match. And Washington's running the ball. They have Bill Callahan who's the head coach, the interim head coach of the Redskins now.
Yeah,
he was the offensive coordinator of Dallas. Got demoted when Scott Linehan got
to offensive line coach,
and he left on bad terms.
Oh shit!
So
he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder.
He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder.
And the thing is, Washington doesn't have anything to lose.
They don't have any. Yeah, neither.
This is the last game. Yeah. They're probably gonna want to go out on a good, good note.
Yeah, neither do the Giants. But
what's the fundamental thing that you see with Dallas that's making you think twice about them actually winning?
The same thing I've seen all year. Just the inconsistency. Just losing to the Jets.
Do you think it's going to be a passing thing? Like Dak's not going to be doing that good?
Dak hasn't been practicing.
At all?
He's been going through walkthroughs. this week. So
what about Zeke? Do you think he didn't even do that well against the Eagles, right? No,
he didn't. And I think the thanks Zeke for fucking up my fantasy. No, it wasn't just Zeke. Zeke and the Seahawks. I think I'm just kidding, Zeke. I think it's just the inconsistency of just who they've lost against. You know, they've lost against the Jets, they lost against Chicago,
Patriots.
Yeah, I mean,
they
but
played a good game against the Patriots.
Did you know that Dallas, out of the last 16 games, has been favored to win 15 of them?
Oh yeah, I heard that stat. Yeah.
I mean, and you're 7-8.
I don't know,
you know,
man. I don't know. I think they have a better shot of winning because they're going to be in Dallas. Yeah. Maybe that doesn't mean much now, but I would lean towards them. It's at home. You're playing against a shitty team. They need to win. They know it. They need to make it to the playoffs. Now, you'll know by the end of the game if Dallas didn't put a good effort, it's the team. It's not the coach anymore. The team didn't band together and make it happen. Because, look, you need a win to get in.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point,
a good effort. Yeah. If it's a tight game and they're fighting tooth and nail and they happen to lose, hey, they tried their best.
I think it'll be obvious if you'll know if they gave up on the coach or not.
Yeah.
But I think also I don't see them giving up on the coach because if they know that they have a shot to get in, but half of what needs to happen is they need to win this game.
Yeah.
They're not going to give up, even if they give up on them in the long run.
I get you.
If they know they have a possibility of getting in the playoffs, which we all know, then they're gonna play. You know, like why would you not want to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
The thing that worries me about Dak is that he's up for contract negotiations. So them not talking about his shoulder, like to me, is that like a strategy on his part? Because the same thing happened with DeMarcus Lawrence last year, and he refused to get surgery.
Yeah, I remember
until
that.
Until the contract.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't know what's going to happen after surgery. So, which that was bad. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence is the highest paid defensive man in history.
Yeah.
They said he had half a sack in the last 5 games. So, yeah.
I don't know. Well, let's just say if you were going to predict Washington at Dallas, what's the score going to be?
Okay, I'm going to be honest. Just judging by team, you know, where they're playing, I'm going to take my whole fandom out of it. I think Dallas is going to win. It's going to be a close game.
Okay. Approximate number. What do you think?
I'll say 27-21.
27. Okay, I get you.
I do think the Eagles are going to win, and I think it's going to be a closer game. And
okay.
I think it's probably going to be 28-27.
Okay. So Dallas 27-21.
Yeah.
Winning. Eagles
28-27.
Winning. Eagles winning. So that would mean Eagles are going to the playoffs. Wow.
I think that the only way to override that is if Saquon Barkley has like a monster
just a monster game and takes control of the clock. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, there's another scenario that's kind of nail biting, and it's for my favorite team, the Raiders. They've looked horrible. I'm a fan. I like them, but they've looked horrible this season. They had a couple games where they were riding high. Maybe everybody was healthy and everything clicked. Now that the injuries, they've been decimated. They don't have any of their starting secondary. There's no starters in the secondary. They're all backups.
Is Josh Jacobs sitting?
Josh Jacobs is out. He's IR.
Okay.
So it's a diminished team. Right now at 7-8. Before the season started, I told everybody, all my friends, everybody, 8-8 at best. I know it.
Yeah.
Now, they need to win. They're playing against Denver. In Denver, it's going to be cold, 20 degrees, wind chill, the whole 9. No snow, but it's going to be cold.
Football weather.
And you're up there, Mile High City. You're not going to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So they need to win that game. At the same time, there are 3 other games that will determine if the Raiders can actually make a wild card spot, get into the playoffs. Now, what are those games? There is Houston against Tennessee.
They need to win.
Houston needs to win. You have Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Indianapolis needs to win. And last but not least, you have the Baltimore Ravens, who already clinched home field advantage against the lowly Steelers. Yeah. And I'm already hearing that Baltimore is going to bench a bunch of their starters. So there's second team, you could say, against Steelers' first team.
Yeah. It was just kind of like Steelers' second team. I mean...
Now, let's just say we're going off numbers.
Right.
Purely on paper, this is supposed to happen. Raiders are going to make the playoffs. They'll beat the Broncos. Houston will beat Tennessee. Indianapolis will definitely beat the lowly Jaguars. And Baltimore will cream the Steelers. But let's now put something in the mix. These are rivalry teams. Houston and Tennessee, they're fighting for division. Yeah. This is all like,
everything's
it's tense.
Like a division rivalry.
Raiders, Broncos. There's no other hated team we hate more other than KC.
Yeah.
And then you got Indianapolis and the Colts. Their division. These are all division games. What's going to happen? Who knows? I'm putting my bet on. We've had the number. We've had Denver's number at their stadium lately. We've been doing pretty good over there. So we're definitely going to beat them. Score-wise, nothing too crazy. 24-21, 24-19, something along 24-20. Raiders will win. Now, the other games I can't predict. All I know is I'm hoping for the best, and I think it'll happen.
Yeah. Let me ask you something.
Please.
Out of all, let's say Raiders win, okay? And I know by the time the Raiders win, you'll know if you guys are in, right? That's like the
because they're all playing at the same time, so you just
out of Houston and Tennessee and Indianapolis and Jacksonville and Ravens against Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Which one do you see being the least likely? Like, which one is the most troublesome matchup for you guys to get in?
I would say the Ravens and the Steelers for right now.
Because of
until I know who's really playing. Yeah. It's just when you bench a lot of your starters, is the will to win there.
Yeah.
You already clinched it. You clinched a first round bye. It's done.
Yeah.
Is there an emphasis on winning? Maybe, maybe not. I know for sure the Steelers would like to win. Probably a little bit more than the Ravens are actually attempting to.
It's good that it's a division rival, because I feel like if the Ravens were playing a team that wasn't in their division and they're benching their players,
it would be a little. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? I think the Ravens want to win, bro. Like I
don't have too much faith in Robert Griffin, RG3. I really don't as QB.
Yeah.
I think I saw him play in like the fourth quarter of one of these games. He didn't do much, dude. I didn't see much.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows though? I mean,
that's true. If they get the running game going, who's going to stop them?
Who's starting quarterback for the Steelers?
I think it's Rudolph. No, I think it's Rudolph.
I mean, I think RG3 is better than Rudolph.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
that's true.
Are they sitting more
now? The other game that's really troublesome because it's the teams are almost alike. Is Houston and Tennessee.
That was the one for me before I found out that the Ravens were benching everybody.
See, Houston has a tendency this year to play really good.
Yeah.
Then they get creamed the week after. Then they play really good and get creamed again. But Tennessee, they're steady.
Yeah, and the defense is good.
They're steady. Their foot's on the pedal.
Oh, is Derrick Henry playing? Is he good?
As far as I know, no. He is not playing. Deion Lewis is going to be the starter, and I think they brought up somebody else to back him up. If I'm not mistaken, I heard something along those lines.
That too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their receiving core is really good, and Houston's defense is not that great. Mm-hmm. So, but if all goes to plan, Houston does have Tennessee's number. They played early this year. Houston they took care of business. So
we'll see.
I don't know. It depends on a lot of things.
Houston has weapons, man.
It's really enticing. So Raiders win. Houston wins. Indianapolis wins.
Baltimore.
Baltimore wins. Guess what, guys?
In the playoffs, playing
Black hole in the playoffs, baby. I would love it.
possibly against the Patriots or the Chiefs.
Oh,
Who would
see,
you
that's
want? Who would you want?
the Chiefs.
You'd want the Chiefs
Because we could beat the Chiefs.
Okay.
We can't beat the Patriots.
All right, moving on.
Go for it.
Seattle, San Francisco, and other breaking news we forgot to bring up.
Go ahead.
Marshawn.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Lynch. Oh, and Turbin. They signed Turbin too.
I don't know who Turbin is.
Turbin was his backup when he was playing for them.
Okay, so the Seattle Seahawks made some news by bringing in Marshawn Lynch. They actually got a contract, so he's gonna play. He's in. They also brought in Robert Turbin, his backup back in the day when they used to be on the Seahawks together. Now, does this make them one of the top in the NFC? I don't know, man. Marshawn Lynch, when he was with the Raiders, he still had flashes.
Yeah.
He could still outrun people, and he could hit like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
Now,
he's one of those guys
Can
that
he
was
come-
built for this game.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think it's something like he needs to get back into.
yeah. But they did load manage him a little bit with Oakland. Like, he would come in for like 2 series, and then you wouldn't see him for like the rest of the half.
Yeah.
And then he would come in the third quarter, play halfway through the third quarter, then you wouldn't see him the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to do the same thing? Maybe that's why they brought Robert Turbin as well.
I don't think they're going to load manage him like that. I mean, I think if they're bringing him back, he's going to play.
Yeah.
But
It'd be weird to see him in the colors again.
it's cool, man.
Yeah.
It brings a whole new dynamic.
Yeah, I want to watch. I would never say that. Like, oh, I'm going to watch Seattle play.
So, yeah, they're playing San Francisco in Seattle. Marshawn Lynch is walking through the tunnel. Decibel
Oh, man.
through the roof. I don't know.
12th man freaking going
12
crazy.
man like crazy alive. Right? I mean, if you imagine first drive, let's say Seattle has the ball, the handoff to Marshawn, he picks up like 15. Like, how loud
that
is
crowd's
it going
going
to
to
get
be
in there,
going
man?
nuts.
Do you see Seattle beating the
I think they
Niners?
will because they already beat them in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
It was a couple weeks ago. It was I think it went to overtime.
Right.
It just can Seattle take the pressure? Can they?
Yeah.
It seems like Russell Wilson can, but he can't do it all by himself. And I've been seeing they're locking down Tyler Lockett a lot, their main receiver.
Yeah.
The other guys need to step up, man.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Can they do it? I would say yes. You're at home. This is where your time to shine. But if San Francisco shows up with their hard hitting D, like when they're clicking on all cylinders, it's going to be tough for Seattle to even do anything in that game.
I think it's going to be a low scoring game.
I think so too. I think
it's going to be
because they're going to be running the ball.
Yeah.
Both teams have great running games.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be really hard for San Francisco to move the ball in that stadium.
That's true.
Marshawn Lynch is there. That crowd's going to be awake. It's going to be super loud. I really think it's going to be loud.
I think so.
So moving on to the playoff pictures. As far as moving into the divisional round, like we're looking past. Ravens already got the number 1 seed locked up in the AFC.
Okay, Ravens number 1. Okay.
They're either going to play the Texans or the Bills, which is what it's looking like.
Okay.
The number 2 seed is going to depend on Sunday. It's either going to be the Patriots or Chiefs.
Okay.
They're either going to play the Raiders, the Titans, the Colts. It's all going to depend on the placing of the Patriots and Chiefs. As far as the NFC goes now, this is why the Seahawks-Niners game is so important. One's going to be the number 1 seed, possibly.
Okay.
And one's gonna be a wild card team.
Wow! So
If this all depends on the outcomes also of the Packers game and the Saints game.
Okay.
So between the Packers, Seahawks, Saints, and Niners, one of those teams is going to be, I believe, a number 1 seed.
Wow!
Depending on Sunday. So this Sunday is probably the most exciting.
It is.
Sunday
It is. I mean, if you really think about it, just the ramifications of each game, it's like. If you're a fan at all, like, of an underdog, Raiders, Cowboys, this team needs to lose and I need to win to get into the playoff. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. And then after that, now you're in the playoffs. that's going to be another thing. We'll have a show
what's
for that
gonna
one.
happen? This is a whole new season. A whole new season in the playoffs.
So I'm excited. Now, what? Let's say if you were to Dallas, of course, that's a game to watch. You're going to definitely watch it. I'm going to watch the Raiders now. If there was another game, you could only watch 3. What would be the other game to watch? This Sunday.
I think it would
one more.
I think it would be the Seahawks Niners.
Same here. I would say the same.
That seems like a really.
It'll be a fun game to watch too. Two good teams.
And it's just exciting to see Marshawn Lynch coming.
Yeah.
I wonder. Think he's gonna. Does anybody have 24 on that team?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they'll give it up to him.
I don't think he cares, dude.
No, he doesn't care.
I really don't think he's a
even when he scores a touchdown, he doesn't even celebrate. He just shake hands, you know? So he's not going to care.
Putting all this aside, Super Bowl predictions.
Oh. Well, I have to go with my gut and kind of just go by stats, recent stats. I mean, for me, I think Tom Brady, when it gets to the playoffs, he turns it up a notch. The team turns it up a notch, and they'll be in the Super Bowl. It sucks to say because that means they have to get through the Ravens, Chiefs, Raiders if they make it. You know, it's just the proof is in the pudding.
Okay.
Patriots. Now on the other side, what I would like to see would be his.
Saints. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I was actually going to say San Francisco. Because of the Garoppolo, Brady. Now you'll know who's better.
Yeah.
Now you'll know what Bill Belichick is kind of getting hounded on. He was planning to keep Garoppolo, get rid of Brady, but then the owner trades Garoppolo before that could happen. That would be great storyline.
I think that even though Garoppolo hasn't been like that great, I think the Niners' success this year and how he's managed games has proven Bill Belichick right.
And the thing is, what kind of team can beat the Patriots? A team that can hold on to the ball, that can run the ball. So that would be it. 1A
and
would be the Saints because of Drew Brees. I just would like to see Drew Brees and those two old farts going at it.
Yeah, that's one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for me, the NFC. I think the Saints, man. I think it's going to be the Saints, and I want to say Baltimore, but the thing that's holding me back, and I just don't see New England this year. But I think if the only way I would say New England is if they get home field advantage to the playoffs. If they don't, I don't see them getting far. For me, it's between Baltimore and the Chiefs, and the reason why I want to tell you the Chiefs is because their defense has been showing up lately.
That's true. But track record, they kind of choke in the playoffs. Like something happens where they putter, they stutter a little bit.
But that was all with like Alex Smith years. Now you got Mahomes. Yeah. They made it to the championship last year.
See, but he was MVP last year. He was on fire. He's not on fire this year. No. He's good. He's great, but he's not on fire.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson has that fire.
But that's why I think, that's why it's a toss-up for me because Lamar Jackson's in the same exact boat.
That's true. That Mahomes was in last year.
Mahomes was in last year.
Great running game, the whole nine, right? Yeah.
And but the thing is, too, they're taking 3 weeks off. He could come back, kind of be a little rusty. We've seen him a little rusty this season.
This could bite them in the butt if they sit him for too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that idea of sitting players.
But they look so strong as a team, man. They're really fun to watch.
Wide receivers, tight end, running backs, offensive line, defense is good. Yeah. Special teams is good too, command.
You got like guys with a lot of chips on their shoulders on the defense. Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
The guy from Marcus Peters, he showed up this year after being cut. So I really think they got a shot. But I it's hard for me in the AFC. I was always taught never to never to bet against the Patriots. But it would be cool. Who would you want to see? Which two teams would you want to see? Like, I want to see these two teams playing the Super Bowl.
Well, probably like I don't know, if Baltimore makes it, I want to see a team that has a defense that can counteract that running game
against San Francisco.
Yeah, and I don't see Seattle doing that because they get run all over, if I'm not mistaken. San Francisco maybe, Green Bay.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about Aaron Rodgers here.
Yeah.
Let's just say they make it. Their defense, when they want to lock it down, they lock it down.
So you'd want to see Baltimore and San Francisco?
I think so. That would be an awesome, fun game to watch. But definitely, like the Patriots, I'd love to see them in there and have a really good team against them. Kind of, it's just you need two good quarterbacks in there. You get that kind of that. You get the big dog in there. Patriots. Oh, now you got Patriots in the Super Bowl. They're always favored.
Yeah.
Let's see who's gonna
Yeah.
who can dethrone him.
I think I agree with that. I would want to see that, but I did want to ask the Bills. Do you think they have any shot of making a run in the playoffs?
I don't like any other team but the Raiders. Like that's the only team I root for.
Yeah.
Now, if I can pick a secondary team to, I want to watch them. I'm rooting for them a little bit. It would be the Bills.
Yeah.
They have a defense that's really good, man. They don't let points go willy nilly.
They didn't look that bad against New England.
Nope. It just took a couple mistakes,
Yeah.
a couple bad throws here and there, a couple bad penalties. It just let the Patriots keep the ball. Now, that quarterback, Josh Allen, is it Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Yeah. He's good, man. When the ball comes out of his hand, it's zipped.
Yeah.
It's a spiral, and it curls over. He's got that young Peyton Manning arm, which I like. He can run the ball, too.
He has the most rushing touchdowns for a quarterback this season.
I would like to see, let's just say, I wouldn't want to see the AFC championship game, them two. I'd like to see, like, the divisional game, Patriots and Bills, or even, let's say, the Ravens and Bills. That'd be a cool game, man.
Chiefs and Raiders.
I'd rather, if the Raiders do make it, I'd rather them play against the Chiefs because we have knowledge. We have a lot of film.
Yeah.
We played them this year. We got close one game, but we got creamed the other.
Right.
I think we have a chance. But Patriots, Tom Brady, forget it. We're done. I'll put all my money in this world on that game on the Patriots. They will cream us.
Yeah.
End of freaking story on that one. 100%.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts?
Yes.
Leave us some comments.
Please. And but I think today's show we covered a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, we covered good.
News, college, basketball. I mean everything.
Yeah. And please forgive us for the dogs.
Oh yeah. They're our guard dogs. They're protecting us.
You might hear them from time to time.
Yeah.
We do have two other shows: the Kickback Corner, which is just general podcasting. Sometimes we'll have guests on, and we have 4th and 1, which we're not going to start until the off season. Discussing fantasy football
rankings and draft. We'll do mock drafts, the whole
drafts, and people coming out, players coming out of college and where to expect them in rankings. So with that being said, you can find our channel on YouTube, JayBee and Will. You can find us on Facebook, JayBee and Will, and the playlists are in there. Yeah,
JayBee and Will. It's the spelling's a little bit. It's JayBee, so JayBee. And Will.
Right.
That's our channel name. We'll have different little areas where you'll have the Kickback Corner in our channel. You'll have another playlist for 4th and 1. And you'll have the playlist for this show, the Overtime Show. Please like and subscribe. Leave some comments. We'd like to talk about what you want to talk about. If there's something that we haven't even hearkened on, let's just do it. Let's get into it. This is, not just for us. It's for you guys. And... it was a great show. Once again, we'll do it again next week. And thanks a lot.
Signing off.